This is the first of what I hope will be many conversations with the new commissioner of the Big 12, Brett Yormark. What does Cincinnati bring to the Big 12 from your perspective?
A ton. I mean, I talk about it all the time. Cincinnati, the other new members that are coming in 23, expanded our footprint, gave us relevance in a market that really we didn't have a presence in before. Obviously, great history and legacy, the best of the best. So we're just thrilled to, one, be here today on campus and taking it all in, but most importantly, welcoming Cincinnati into the conference officially next July.
Cincinnati made history last year, becoming the first school outside of the Power Five to qualify for the 14 college football playoff. How can the Big 12 help Cincinnati take another step?
Well, I think our brand is pretty national right now. And I think from a recruiting standpoint, being part of the Big 12 will hopefully open up some really nice opportunities for all the different coaches, especially in some of the hotbeds for football like Texas, as an example. So I think there's a mutual benefit here. Cincinnati brings a lot to the table, but I think being a member of the Big 12, creating rivalries with some of the biggest brands and schools in the country, I think that's good for not only the student athletes, but for the fans of the program.
The Big 12 has captured the last two national championships in men's basketball with Kansas and Baylor. Cincinnati obviously has a tremendous legacy in that sport. It's kind of funny because I think people look at football as the driver for a lot of these decisions, but what does the success of Big 12 basketball mean to the league?
Well, I mean, we're the #1 conference in America when you think of men's basketball, and we're very proud of it. We need to tell that story a little bit more. I'm not sure everyone understands that. But as I was touring today, I visualized Kansas playing Cincinnati right here on campus. And I think it's going to be a huge moment for the community and a huge moment for the Big 12. So we're excited. And Cincinnati, again, to your point, has a great heritage and legacy in college basketball. And hopefully we can add to that.
As you noted, Cincinnati officially becomes a member in July of next year. As of now, Texas and Oklahoma are still under contract to be members of the conference for 2 more years. What is the likelihood that Cincinnati fans will see the Bearcats compete against Oklahoma and Texas, at least in that 2-year window?
They will definitely see Texas and Oklahoma, for sure. We continue to be a resource for Texas and Oklahoma in every way we can, and we're having conversations, but those conversations are truly about what's in the best interest of our going forward member institutions and our conference. But Cincinnati fans will definitely see Texas and Oklahoma here on campus.
You famously made the comment at Big 12 Media Days that the Big 12 is open for business. People looked at that in the prism of expansion, but you meant it beyond that.
100%. I mean, when I said open for business, this conference, although great in its first 26 years, we became stagnant. We haven't been progressive, innovative, creative, disruptive. Those are all the things I'd like to see come out of the conference over the course of the next 12 and 24 months. Expansion was certainly a part of it, open for business, and that's certainly something on my radar screen and something that we're vetting out right now. But it was more holistic than just expansion. It was about, in every respect, this conference is going to be open for business, to create value for our member institutions and just to do things differently.
If you do expand going forward, what are you looking for?
Well, first and foremost, the right cultural fit. Obviously, we're aligned right now. When you think about our member institutions, the current ones as well as the new members coming in July. And I think going through my campus tours over the last 2 weeks, we have further galvanized our membership. We're very like-minded in our approach. We have the same mission and vision. So truly the cultural fit based on whoever might entertain the opportunity to come in is critically important. But beyond that geographic footprint, we do want to go west. We'd like to be a conference that is in the 4 time zones, the first to do it. And going west, I think, is certainly something that we have an appetite for. I've been very public about it. And then beyond that, who knows? But going west certainly is high on the radar screen for us.
We recently learned that Espn is not going to be in business with the Big 10 anymore. What opportunity does that represent for the Big 12?
Well, as I mentioned last week, I have an appetite to sit down with Espn and Fox and talk about an early extension. I've already met with Espn. It was a great first meeting. I think we're very much aligned in what we'd like to see in the future. And over the next week, I'll be doing the same with Fox. I think there's a real opportunity to partner with ESPN and Fox. But ESPN, obviously, I mean, they're the home of college sports. When you think about, their capacity and their bandwidth, and we need to be with ESPN. I mean, every student athlete grows up thinking they want to see themselves on SportsCenter. At the same time, Fox is also critically important for us. So I love our incumbents, and I want to extend to the extent that we can.
The NFL is taking Thursday Night Football to a streaming service this year, Amazon Prime. How important is that in the college landscape for the future of the Big 12, being on a streaming service?
I think it's a complementary platform, but for us, and based on our goals and objectives to build our brand, to build our business, to create value for our student athletes when it comes to NIL, we need to be on linear. That doesn't mean it shouldn't be complemented with a great digital platform, because reaching younger consumers differently now is the name of the game. And we need to diversify, how we do that. But digital will play a role moving forward for sure, but linear is key for us.
I believe it was the day after you were officially announced as the Big 12 commissioner that USC and UCLA announced that they were leaving the Pac-12 for the Big 10. How challenging is it going to be to compete financially with the Big 10 and the SEC?
Well, I don't look at it as competition. My goal is to make sure that the Big 12 becomes the best version of ourselves. And I've said this before, it's not just about our media partners, it's how do we diversify our revenue streams? How do we do things that are truly different, that can optimize the economics for our member institutions? And I'm working on that right now. And I'm very bullish on what those opportunities are. But certainly our multimedia rights deal is at the center of everything we do, but we need to diversify how we grow our business, and we will do that.
Your background's fascinating to me. You were an executive with NASCAR. You were an executive with the Brooklyn Nets. You didn't follow the traditional athletic director to conference administrator path. How are you the right fit for the Big 12, and why did the job appeal to you?
Well, I've always had a goal of being in collegiate sports. Throughout my career, I've always had what I call my career progression ladder. And in that progression ladder was a stop at some point in time in the collegiate space. I didn't know when or what it would look like. And then when this opportunity presented itself, I knew in some respects I was the underdog because I was a non-traditional candidate. But as I got to know our board a little bit more, I realized they were willing to pivot away from the traditional and do things differently, be innovative, be creative, be disruptive. My skill sets are very transferable to where college sports is going. And I'm very excited about it. I have a lot to learn, and I'm just about to complete my listening tour, going onto all the campuses, meeting with all the key stakeholders, immersing myself in this new world. And I'm more energized now than I was when I took the job. So I'm very excited about what I can accomplish here. Obviously, it's not just about me. It's about the collective stakeholder group, including the great staff at the Big 12. And I think we're going to do some amazing things.
You went to Indiana, but seriously considered attending the University of Cincinnati, correct?
Yeah. I made a visit here on campus with my twin brother. It was on the radar. Ultimately decided to go to Indiana. I had not been back until today, and I just met with the president. And the entire community here on campus should be so proud on what they've accomplished over the last 10, 15 years. The investment they've made, the human capital that exists here on campus. You are putting student athletes and students in general in a position to be the best version of themselves. So I congratulate the school on that.
Cincinnati fans and athletes and administrators have been dreaming of being in a Power 5 conference for a long time. We look forward to July 1st next year. We really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
So do we. Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
That's Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark.